Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining our channel today. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my training mistakes that I had over my own training career when I was playing and when I was training Matty Gons, preparing him for Oz Sevens, although we didn't know he'd be playing Oz Sevens, and now he's gone to the Olympics. And I'm going to talk a little bit about his journey and me training him and just mistakes in general that I made when I was a younger strength and conditioning coach. I didn't know as much as I know now, and I hadn't practiced. I had practiced a lot in person with people, but not as much as online, where online is actually really great because I can see so much feedback from what people are doing and the results they're getting. So like all the programs, I can see everything that's happening. And these days, I'm actually getting way better results. I already had good results, but just fine-tuning things can make such a big difference. And so I want to talk to you about Ferraris versus Land Cruisers. So Matt is a Ferrari, okay? And I'm a Land Cruiser, okay? So you're going to get these people, all right, that have awesome genetics. They have such good genetics for putting on muscle, staying lean, getting strong. Okay, and there's some people that where their how big their bones are, their bone density, and their overall body structure totally changes their potential. Okay, and how much they can lift. And then the big ones is how much fast twitch muscle fibers do they actually have. Okay, so Ferraris will naturally have a lot of fast twitch muscle fiber. Okay, and that fast twitch muscle fiber is the fiber that's going to actually get bigger. Okay, so the more fast twitch you have, then the more potential for size you are going to have, and for strength, and for all these different things. So like if you want to be fast, then yeah, more fast twitch muscle fiber. But that doesn't mean you can't train what you've got to be as good as it possibly can have. And like I said, I'm like this old Land Cruiser that's slow, struggle street, and doesn't have the best genetics. I'm not massive, don't have big bone structure, not naturally strong whatsoever. I just work hard, like a Land Cruiser. Compared to Matt, who's just like out of a box, fast, strong, and just can put on muscle. Like they just can grow. And you might even find that you have certain body parts which actually might have a bit more muscle fiber where it just grows easier compared to other parts of your body. And that's also a thing too. Like some people just can't get calves. Some people can't get forearms. Okay? And that's just your genetics. There's nothing you can do about it. Now, when you look at professional sport, you're going to see that most of these guys and girls playing at the very top are Ferraris. Now, don't get me wrong, they still work hard to get there, but they are top of the gene pools, okay? They have great genetics for muscle, they have great genetics for power, okay? They still have to work to get themselves better and, to be able to reach their potential, but they are Ferraris, okay? Myself, not a Ferrari, like I said, Land Cruiser, never going to be at the top, and I worked my ass off for it, and I'm totally okay with that. You got to be okay with that. If you're not okay with that, then like, what's it worth living? And so, if you're a Land Cruiser, if you're a Ferrari, you might even be a Mustang that's not quite as good as Ferrari, but you might work yourself so well, plus have a good skill set, and get yourself there. Okay, but you still have to have somewhat good genetics. You might not be a Mustang, but have super good skills. Okay, and you can thank your parents for that because a lot of that is developed in the cerebellum, which is part of the brain, and those early ages between 0 and 8. Okay, so like if the more different sports you do at that age, the more you'll actually develop this spatial awareness and ability to pass or catch. Now, I'm not saying that you can't develop these later on, but your potential, if you develop it younger, will go up quite a bit. But then, once again, genetics will dictate how far you can actually go with that. Okay, so how should I say that? Like, still go after it. Like, I still go after it every day. I still try and better myself. There's no reason why you shouldn't try and better yourself. Like, I still try and compete with Matt whenever I can. But the guy just flogs me. Like, I got an example. We used to live together. We had a ping pong table. At the start, I would flog him, and like it was like not even a competition. 6 months later, he was absolutely kicking my ass, and I was struggling to keep up. And I played more than him, and I was just like, "What is going on?" He was just quicker than me. His brain just picked it up faster. He just had all these different shots, and like it's like nothing. And it's credit to him. Like you watch him on the field, 10 times the player I would be, and so. This is where I'm saying there's Ferraris and there's Land Cruisers and there's everything in between that. All right, where are you on the spectrum? Now, it doesn't really matter, okay? Because the Ferraris and the Land Cruisers will get results the same way, okay? And here's my mistakes that I used to make. The mistakes I used to make, and my biggest one was, now, I'm going to backtrack a little bit because there's three main things that people talk about hypertrophy. Okay, we have mechanical tension, right? I think is the biggest one. We have muscle damage and we have metabolites. Okay, I used to really focus on these two here. Okay, I used to focus on mechanical tension plus muscle damage. And so with that, we would do a lot of workouts, we would lift heavy, and we would also do like a lot of pump stuff at the end. Okay, and we got good results. Everyone got bigger, everyone got stronger. It showed out in the field. But it definitely could have been better. And I've shown it is definitely better when I just focus on mechanical tension. Now, I'm not going to take away that... Oh, I've dropped the microphone. I'm not going to take away that maybe you can cause some sort of growth from muscle damage and metabolites, although it's not 100% proved at all. So if I can just focus on mechanical tension rather than muscle damage. So the problem with focusing on muscle damage too is it's going to take away from mechanical tension. Now, mechanical tension is the thing that's going to be getting you stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, right? It's like how much muscle fiber can we then tap into, okay? And so if we then do a lot of muscle damage stuff, which is going to be more high reps at the end of things, more pumps, more stretch positions. Now, I'm not saying stretch positions are bad. You need stretch positions, especially for certain muscles. But there's going to be more of that. The more I can focus on not causing too much muscle damage, the more... so the problem with that is what it's going to do to your body is you have a lot of inflammation from that muscle damage. That gets into your bloodstream, and then that stops your brain from being able to fire up those high threshold motor units we need for the mechanical tension. Okay, and so when I take the muscle damage away and we can just focus on mechanical tension and getting you stronger and stronger and stronger, then what's going to happen is that you will grow with that anyway. If there is only one thing for hypertrophy, and it is mechanical tension, I'm not saying it is, but if that is it, and we can really focus on that, then we can get rid of these other things. Way better results. And like I've definitely seen that with my own programming these days. And I do have a couple of Ferraris these days, but I also have a lot of Land Cruisers just like me, and we just stick at it and we keep getting stronger. So that's probably one of my biggest training mistakes. And with that, it's like you're chasing fatigue. You're chasing that tired feeling. It's like you're going to the gym for the sake of going in there and getting it done because I need to work hard. You got to get in there and you got to work hard. Rather than going in there and actually really just chasing results, like making sure I beat last week slightly, even if it's by the smallest margin. Don't care. Like if I beat it by 1 rep, I am stoked. Okay, so like that is one of the biggest differences. And if I trained Matt now, I definitely would have focused more on mechanical tension. And I know what probably would have happened is he probably would have had less injuries. Okay, he would have had less pains. Like I know he always had his fat pad in his knee was always flaring up, and I really think it was just due to how much he was doing. And like I always Ferrari, right? Like they want to get stuff done. They're like, yeah, I'm good. Not all Ferraris like that. Some Ferraris just turn up and they're great. Sorry, I paused there. So yeah, Matt always had this fat pad issue, and with that, I believe that probably wouldn't have been an issue if we had just backed off the volume, and we could have easily. Like I always told him, like we need to do less because he would come in and do extras. I'm like, dude, no, no, stop that. Like you don't need to do any more than we're already doing. We're already doing a lot. We were doing a lot, I'm telling you. But he wanted to do more because he was so keen to push himself to make it to the next level. So like I was actually the one pulling him back. Now I would have pulled him back even more. And I would have made him work on his skills if he was going to do the extra sessions. It would have been his pass. It would have been his kicking game. It would have been him actually probably watching footage. That would have actually made him a better player. And so this is how I think about training a lot different now. Is just about giving them just enough for what they need, rather than going and just trying to, chasing fatigue and feeling like, yeah, that was a good workout. That was hard. Which, like people will still get stronger doing that. Like there's no doubt, but all I'm saying is I definitely think you can get better results, not doing that and actually having better plans of like, okay, looking at when your sessions are and then knowing, okay, how many sets I need to do, because then I know I'll be training again here and then here and then here. And ideally, I keep saying this on my Instagram, but you want to feel fresh when you walk into the gym. All right, you want your muscles to be fresh. You want your nervous system to be fresh. If it's fresh, you can lift heavy. Okay, if it's fresh, you're going to recruit those high threshold motor units we want for mechanical tension to get you growing. So that's one of the biggest things I would have changed. Now, the other big mistake I made with Matt was like I didn't know sprint. Like as an early strength and conditioning coach, I didn't know sprint work. I didn't know sprint mechanics, and there wasn't as much on it now as you can go and do. And he kept re-injuring his quad. I remember his physio saying it's his glutes. I'm like, his glutes are strong. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it's got to be a mechanical thing. Like, and I think, still to this day, he just got too powerful for his technique. Okay, so like most people would probably get away with what technique he had, but because it's Ferrari, too much power for his technique. And so like things were breaking down. His quad was breaking down. Okay, it was just too much. And when he changed his technique, so I always said to him, I was like, one of the things I said, I think you need to go get a sprint coach, a proper sprint coach. And luckily Eastwood, because he didn't go and do it, Eastwood got an S&C who was a sprinter, which was perfect. And so he started working on his sprint technique. I started learning about sprint technique stuff too and started applying it. And so now with all my programs, obviously, we have a lot of sprint stuff. We have a lot of sprint technique within in between days. And once again, we don't thrash people. I don't thrash people. Just give them just enough. Okay, and I don't think I'm definitely not a crazy good sprint coach, and I won't like say I am, but like the basics will get you a very, very long way. Of learning basic sprinting mechanics will get you so far. Like as far as you probably need. And if you need to take it to another level, that's when you like go and get a sprint coach. Like go and get a proper sprint coach who trains track athletes. Like that would actually really help if there's like if you're having really bad mechanical issues that can't be fixed with easy things. And so yeah, I definitely would recommend that. And then the conditioning, like with our conditioning, I used to not give too much conditioning until the season, but now I just keep a level base of zone 2 during the off season. And then even like in the in-season, like coming up to the season, I just keep a good base where I'm not trying to cause too much fatigue, because once again, I'm trying to keep getting people stronger, more powerful with their plyometrics. And that's the other thing, even with the plyometrics, is like I used to do like 3 or 4 sets of different plyos, and that can cause a lot of issues with tendons because it takes time to grow up, to build up to it. Rather than now, over the week, I sort of do more light one day, heavy, like when I say heavy, like more powerful stuff where you're going to have bigger landings on another day. And it's not much, like 1 or 2 sets max. But that spread out throughout the week is far better than having one big session where you're getting a lot of plyometrics. I'm finding that far better, and people are getting way better results with that. And I'm getting, less tendon issues coming back to me. So I'm not saying that's the only way, but I'm definitely seeing less tendon issues that way. So if you're an S&C out there, you might find that really interesting. and might be something you want to play around with yourself. So yeah, like there's a lot of changes or what I've had, and I've changed in my own training, and I've seen myself get stronger and bigger, which I hadn't for a while, and much more than when I was younger. When I was younger, I was definitely more inflamed. And yeah, if I went back to playing now, I'd actually be faster and stronger than when I was 25. I'm 32 now, nearly 33. So maybe next year for a comeback. Anyway, if you find this video interesting, like the channel, like the page, and yeah, we've got our website. Our app is on the way. You can actually download it in the App Store right now, and all our programs are going to be on there. Cool. Thanks, guys.